Hi, so today's project is a SEARS 10-inch bandsaw. Bought it off of a guy from off of OfferUp for about $25. And one of the first things I had him do was demonstrate that it actually ran. When he turned it on, I could see the band kind of moving and circulating, but not really. But I could definitely tell the engine was running, or the motor was running. So I felt like it was a decent enough buy. I mean, assumed everything on the insides was working, since I kind of saw the band kind of move like it wanted to rotate, but it definitely wasn't rotating like it was going to cut anything. So for $25, I figured it was a decent deal. I figured whatever was wrong with it on the internals I could fix. So let's go ahead and dig into what's needed to fix this. I'm gonna go ahead and take the cover off. Probably gonna fast forward this once I start doing video editing. I'm already show you, I already took off the band. I had already taken this cover off once before. It's not bad, it's kind of rusty, but we'll see what happens later. Here. Now. All right. I'm going to show you a couple things here after I get this cover off. Reposition this. Alright, so take the cover off here. As far as like the cover, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to mask off the branding on this, tape it up, I'm going to scuff it really good, give it a decent cover, put some like a rust locking type of spray on there. And then I'm gonna put a primer over it. I'm gonna try and get it back to some sort of gray, but I'm not really gonna try and redo this completely, depending on how this turns out. I wanna use it a couple times. I got some projects that I wanna do, but depending on how it turns out, after I finish my projects, I'll probably put it back on OfferUp for more than what I bought it for, since I fixed it, and go from there. Yeah. So that's covered. I'm gonna set that down right here. So as you can see right here, I've already taken off one of the wheels. One of the things, first things that I noticed, I went online and said, hey, spin the wheel, see how it spins. So I spin it, but the one I saw on other videos, it spun a lot better than this. This one, you can tell it's like completely slowing down. I saw the same thing on this one. And one of the things that once I did is I took the little C-clip off, pulled the wheel off, had quite a bit of stick to it. So I was like, I don't know, maybe just the grease was gummy. And that right there is what was on there. So somebody put a solid brass bushing on there. And the ones that I saw when I tried to go look up finding replacement parts looked like it should be a regular bearing, not a brass bushing. And they tried to throw some grease on there to make it move and rotate. So that's that. I'm replacing that, and I'll show you what I'm replacing it with a little bit later. I was able to just get a little hook, like an engine little hook, like you use to kind of like pull some springs out, or little collets or whatever. Put the little hook in there, pulled it out a little bit, and then I just kind of got back behind it and pushed out the brass bushings. It has bushings on both sides of the wheel, so it's going to need bearings on both sides. I'm gonna push them in. Same thing up here and down here on the drive wheel. The other thing that I noticed was the band that this came with was very loose. I'm starting to realize there was probably two reasons for that now. One, it was I think the measurement was like a 120, like 120 millimeters or something like that. That's the length of the band. Each of these bands have a number on them, and so I went with a smaller one. I'm hoping it'll fit. And it's got a little adjuster here, so you loosen up this nut and then you kind of pull it away, push it in, kind of like a serpentine belt that wraps around your alternator and some of the other stuff in your car. So we're going to replace that. The old band was kind of crumbly and cracked. So just kind of want to talk about some of the things that is a good skill to have anyway. When I pulled off these brass bushings, and I need to figure out, okay, what size bearing do I need in there? It's good to learn how to use a decent pair of calipers. This one I got from Harbor Freight. I don't mind digital, but I do like the idea of, you know, measuring it myself and kind of gauging it, what have you. It's good for your math skills. I think everybody should learn how to use a set of calipers. Mine is, it's got centimeters, millimeters, but it's broken up into eighths, so you'll get eighths. So 1 inch markings up here on the top. These are centimeter, millimeters down here on the bottom. But it's broken up into eighths, so eighths to an inch, and then next measurement down is a 16th, and then when you get down to the vernier measurements, it's I think it's a 128. So based off these measurements up here, but go look up some videos on that. Really good skill to have. So one of the things I did, first thing I did is I used my caliper to gauge, okay, what's the inside diameter that I need on the bearings that I'm going to buy. So kind of took it like this, kept opening it up until it kind of passed through. Didn't lock it down, but you know, kind of snug touches. Took my measurement, said okay, what size do I need for it to fit inside this wheel? Use the opposite side of the caliper. Opened it up, it's going the wrong way there. Kind of got a general idea. Then I said, you know what's even better? Why don't I just take the measurement off the bushing, right? Don't have to worry about if I'm off. So I just keep opening it up till it slides through. Okay, moves. All right, now I got my measurement, my inside diameter, or my internal diameter, my outside diameter that I'm going to need for the bearings. That being said, I measured it in inches, but then I converted it to centimeters, millimeters. I decided to use that side of this caliper and got these bushings, or these bearings, from off of Amazon. Now, I went to every single like bushing manufacturer because I was like, oh, I'm going to get the really good stuff. This is a rebuild. It's not going to be factory specific, so I don't need to get the most fancy bearings. I was about to, but I thought fancy bearings would be cheaper than what they are. So rather than paying like $5 per bearing, knowing that I need 6, went on Amazon, found some good enough bearings. We'll see how well they work. I'm pretty sure they work good enough for this. I think I spent like $11 on this, and I got a pack of, what we got here? I think it's 10 bearings. Don't need 10, but now I'll have 4 extra. I like it. Other thing that I noticed, probably one of the reasons the band wouldn't run, when I started looking online at, you know, manuals for a 10-inch SEARS bandsaw, I found that there was supposed to be a piece of rubber on it. There is no rubber on this. There was no rubber on this when I bought this. Not on the top, not down here, not even down here on the drive wheel. So it's called a tire. So go figure. Basically, this is like a rim, and you need a tire on this. So the tire is some sort of rubber that basically creates that friction on the bandsaw, and that's what literally makes it spin. So it's actually the friction of the rubber on the bandsaw that rotates it. There you go. That's basically how this works. So it's basically friction movement. Yeah, friction on hard plastic does not turn bandsaw blade. All right. Said the one I had originally, the drive belt, it said 120. I dropped down to 100 XL, so I'm assuming it's like 100 millimeters, like probably the full circumference of this. So hopefully it'll fit on here. Maybe I'll bring it in a little bit so that it fits, what have you. So, all right. Next part is I'm going to start putting this back together. The next time I'll take a couple snapshots in between, and then we'll do a video on it actually running. Once I get it running, I'm going to take it apart, and then I'm going to spruce it up. Like I said, I'm going to go through, scuff it a little bit, maybe a little Scotch Brite, and then just get a little fresh coat of paint on it. All right, thanks.